The picture essay, so descriptive writing, painting a picture with words. I believe we have seen this in class, but I thought it good to put it out there just as a refresher for those of you who indicated to me that you were interested in writing the picture essay. So I will remind you that the way we were doing it is we were um, gathering inspiration from an image and not describing what is in the image. So the image you had chosen was there as an inspiration, all right, as a complement to your writing, and not, if there's a chair in your picture, then you had to describe the chair, and that's it. So if you go back in time, um, what do you remember about your descriptive writing in grade 9? You may not even remember that you did a little bit of a descriptive paragraph in grade 9. Basically, the descriptive is full of description, imagery. It focuses on your five senses and it uses figures of speech. I'm going to skip this. It was a text that you had in grade 9. We don't need that. So, how will the requirements be different for grade 12 English versus grade 9 English? So, grade 9, first of all, it was only a short paragraph. Here we're looking for a lot more creativity. If you remember from the samples we had read in class, some of them were just surprising and shocking, and you never expected that that's where the descriptive would go. And you have to be careful that you don't fall into the narrative format. We're looking for a rich and precise vocabulary. You don't say anything just to fill in some blank pages. You choose your words carefully. If you don't say red, find a better word for red. Structure. It has to be essay format, of course. Now, how will you structure your descriptive essay? You need an introduction, and then you have a body. The amount of paragraphs is totally up to you. Your entire body can be one paragraph. That's really your choice. And you need a conclusion. So in your intro, you need to capture your reader's attention and you need to identify your subject, all right? You need to provide background information. And here, your thesis is not the thesis that we started to learn in class. It's more the dominant impression. So you need to hook your reader in. You have to pique their curiosity in that first paragraph. So when we are reading your first paragraph, we have to go, I wonder where this is going, all right? In your body, that's where your writing will evolve. You'll use a variety of details that are sensory, that are factual, figurative. You'll include thoughts and feelings. It could be written in the I, it could be written in the he, she. That's totally up to you. So it could be first person, it could be third person. It's really up to you. And you arrange the details in a logical order for you. But if you want to have fun with the timeline, go ahead. Here, you have to pile on the details. Your reader has to be able to visualize what you are writing about. And that's it. I mean, it's a very accepting format. It's not rigid. And of course, you need a conclusion. So you need to wrap it up. You need to re-emphasize your dominant impression and you need to kind of summarize a little bit. Or you can also finish with a cliffhanger if you wish. Okay? So you can also finish with, your reader remaining in thought, like, whoa, what was that? Or, where did that go? Okay? That's okay. It's really up to you. It's a very, very creative essay. Um, what's a dominant impression? Like, what am I talking about? If it's not a thesis statement, like when I talk about the research paper, it's going to be different. It's going to be a thesis statement. But here, dominant impression, it's you focus on selecting the details that help your readers see what you see, feel what you feel, experience what you experience, or your character, of course. Your goal is to create a single dominant impression, a central theme, or a central idea. All right? So, a street scene, the quiet of a summer night, or the peaceful um, river, or remember this one? The dominant impression there was, I'm not sure. the swan, maybe. It was pretty much non-existent. But if you think back of, I don't know if you remember the Twin Towers one that I read to you from years past, the dominant impression there was probably, um, something bad is happening. So, anyways, it's just something to think about, and you don't need to have like a sentence ready that we identify as a dominant impression. It's just this line that you, as you write, it will help guide you, but it will help also keep you in the lane so that your writing doesn't feel like it's going all over the place. For example, obviously, dominant impression here could be war, could be death, could be cruelty of man, could a whole bunch of different ways you could go with this. So, if you wanted to do some prep work, we did this in class, however, but you could take the sentence, she walks. Yes, it is a complete sentence. And you could build on it. So who's the she? How is she walking? Where is she walking to? Why is she walking? When is she walking? And all that. I wake up, same thing, and the dog barks. So basically, these are 3 simple sentences. And if you wanted to practice, you could beef them up a little bit, make them more descriptive, even build on them and make a little paragraph. You can send that in to me if you want. This is totally up to you. Your approach, let your image inspire you. That's very important. Try to be original and creative. You have as much freedom in the approach, okay? You have much freedom, and you have to remain coherent. Here's what I mean by that. I've sometimes read, I'm paraphrasing, but we had a story. It was a beautiful cabin in the woods, blah 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 blah, and so the whole feel of the story was about being in the woods, and then all of a sudden aliens landed. It doesn't jive. It doesn't work. So you have to be mindful of where it is you want to go here. So even though it's a very liberal approach, you're very free, you still need to have a plan to make sure you succeed in your writing. So the task was that you write a descriptive essay, and it needs an intro, a development, and a conclusion. Precise language. So here's where it gets fun. Now, if I was a student and I said, oh, I'd like to give it a try, I would work one draft. I'd plan it out, then I'd write it out, and then I would edit my work. I think the descriptive essay is where that's where students do the most rework, where you look at your sentence and you have to question every single sentence and go, is this what I wanted to say? Is this the right word to convey the emotion or to convey the state of the character or to explain the atmosphere or the tone? Or so you truly question your work, but you don't do it as you write. If you question too much as you're writing, you're going to stop your creativity. And I mean, that is not where I want you to go. I want you to have fun with this. So plan it out. Then once it's written and you feel okay with it, come back to it. And this is something that is usually it's rewritten at least 2 or 3 times for sure. Okay, which is why we were going to work for a long time on it before publishing it. So good descriptive writing uses precise language, specific words and phrases. And if a word is a specific, um, people will get you. If it's too vague, example, it was a sunny day, Abela. You need to do more than that, okay? Your imagery gets too fuzzy, your point gets too fuzzy, and your reader gets uninterested. So that was just a practice. I'm going to skip that. Remember, we saw those, we had images. If ever you'd be interested in practicing with these, all you have to do is pause the video and then start writing. Or you can choose an image of your own, but we all saw these in class. I'm sure you remember this one. And that was an example of descriptive writing. It was the ice cream sundae, but we read it in class as well. So it's here if ever you're interested. And I will also have plenty more videos to explain the descriptive essay.